Hello, everybody. Joe Bagdonis here. Welcome back for another episode of Full Metal Demon Muramasa that I didn't record yesterday because, I worked yesterday. I slept in. I woke up at like noon. That gives me like 2 hours to record and process the video and upload it. And I just didn't want to. I booted up the game. I got to this screen right here. And I had OBS open. And I was just looking at it and just said no. Not today. Ugh. So I didn't. But it is going up today after I'm done recording this because I'm working the day shift now for a couple days, just because I'm going to a class. So, a seminar, which is from like 7 to 3, which is disgusting because being in the classroom by 7 means I have to be on base by like 6:45, which means I have to be up at like 5:30, 5:45 in order to shower, get dressed, drive to work, wait at traffic at the gate, drive to the building, and then, but in seat, usually you want it to be like 10 minutes before the class actually starts because the military goes off the, on time is late, early is on time, being late unacceptable kind of thing. So yes, while you could, walk in, 3 seconds before the class actually starts, it's not a good look at all. So, gotta be there ahead of time. Oh, just got off. So I'm tired because I actually had to wake up early this morning when I'm used to sleeping until noon like I did yesterday, which meant, today I woke up like 5 hours early. So I'm feeling it. Also, I'm still out of coffee. I've been too lazy to go buy another tin. I need to, order some stuff on Amazon. I need to get, a larger or a longer surge protector for my bedroom upstairs. It's getting chilly out. Need to plug in my electrical blanket. And I only have one upstairs. And I need to take the one out of my wall in my bathroom to go use to plug in my washing machine upstairs because I live in a shitty old house that doesn't have a washing machine in the basement and, none of the plumbing or drains to hook one up. So I have a little portable double drum one where you fill up one side with the water and your clothes and it spins, and then you drain it, then you take the clothes out and you put in the other drum, and that drum's like a spin cycle. So that way it gets all the excess water out, so that way your clothes aren't sopping wet, they're just damp. And I have a dryer downstairs, so I'm able to just toss it into there. It's either that or go to the laundromat a few blocks down, but I don't like that laundromat. I got my laundry bag stolen there once because it was just sitting in my car because, I'm not just going to stand there and fucking look at my clothes in the machine for 30 minutes. I go back in, and it's like, oh, great, my fucking laundry bag I used to bring my clothes here, it's gone. And that was the last straw. Also, it's just cheaper in the long run. It was like $200 for that little portable washing machine I have upstairs. And it's like, going to be like $3 every time I go to the laundromat for like washing and usually washing. It's like $2-3 or something. And over the long term, all the clothes I'm gonna wash in my time that I live here, it pays for itself. But you don't care about my laundry woes. Care about Reiko here, Reiko, whatever your name is. Got passed over. Oh no, for his job as like regent. How sad.
国氏が大将領になる前にお父様の葬儀をマルの手で執り行えば実権を握る足がかりになった。それをあいつら
Yeah, almost like they're working against you.
関東関連もダメなんて血筋を鑑みれば何の不思議もないっていうのにこのままじゃ幕府は同心様のものになる。そんなやっぱりあの連中と手を組むしかないみたいね。
Well, we can probably guess who them would be in this case. I woke this morning to clouds on the horizon. By noon, their disdain had blanketed the sky, sending fat drops of batter to earth to destroy the perfect order of the house's garden. I've never heard someone refer to rain as batter, but I guess. The growl of thunder is distant, but getting closer, and yet heaven's fury seems somehow hollow, like a prop in a schoolhouse play. Does nothing to distract me from my own dark thoughts. Conversation would be welcome, but the commissioner is at work, and Miss Makimura, his housekeeper, is far too busy for idle chatter. Even Muramasa is absent, having left to search for Kinsego. Those senses, she assures me, are not subject to foul weather, and, of course, a Tsurugi needs not fear rust. I imagine her out there, rain slowing? I know it's like sloshing, but no, it's slowing? Slowing off her armor, and I feel a stab of envy. She has a purpose, while I have only my thoughts. 2 years of strife, of battle, of murder. For each Musha I have killed to rid the world of an egg, I have also killed an innocent who stood at my side. The law of balance. So many deaths, and still it isn't enough. The killing is not yet done. Who will be next? Which enemy will I murder? Which friend? Of the former, I cannot be certain. Perhaps the final infected, perhaps Kinsego herself. As for the other, I know which innocent will pay the price. Earnest, pure-hearted Ayane Ichijo, who wants so badly to do what is right. The more I see of her, the more we speak, the greater my regard for her grows. How I wish that I could be like her, to be pure and unsullied, to dedicate myself to justice, to march unflinching towards the light. But I have too much which to answer. My mistakes, my crimes, will not let me turn from this path. I'm a gnarled tree, lost in shadow, and she is the bright blazing sun. And that is why I will kill her. When next I take an enemy's life, then she too will die. As long as I sit in this gray sunken space, these thoughts will oh man, I'm just stuttering all over the place today. Continue to fester. Perhaps I should go look for Kinsego, pointless though it will be. My mind set, I start to rise. When I sense a presence in the garden. There, a statue is watching me. For a moment, I'm certain that my brooding has spawned some sort of phantom. But no, she is there, silent and moving. Words of welcome freeze on my tongue. For as long as I have known her, a fire has blazed in her eyes. Now that light is clouded, pale. And just as the statue's lifeless stone may reveal its sculptor's passion to the keen observer, so do her porcelain eyes hint at a storm deep within. I've never seen her like this before. Loathing, contempt, these she has shown me. But this is not those. This is something new, as if she were seeing me for the very first time. A chill slithers down my spine. Chill not brought by the frigid rain. Is it fear? Fear of what? Suddenly, Ichijo raises her hand and thrusts it at me like a loaded pistol. Her trembling fingers grip a sodden slip of paper.
Minato-san.
She speaks with force enough to crush any attempt at speech. My breath still, I am at her mercy.
私と
Is it rage? Hate? Desperate sorrow? I realize that she's a blade, shaped by some unimaginable heat. She is poised to strike at our enemy's heart. Poised to strike.
私と
To strike.
映画を見に行きませんか
Oh, my eyes.
すいませんあんな変なのだとは思わなくて
I mean, it's the 40s. Or maybe early 50s. I don't know. The timeline's weird in this world. At Ichijo's request, we took the bus to northern Kamakura, where we spent 2 hours in a deserted theater watching what I can only describe as a stew of watermelon and leather seeped in hot glue. Ew. Afterwards, we repaired to a nearby soba restaurant for late and hopefully recuperating lunch. I still don't know the reason behind Ichijo's sudden invitation. Isn't that I don't want to know, but that I have not yet felt comfortable asking. Part of this is that it would feel ungrateful. She did rescue me from my moping, but more than that, I sensed danger in the question. Even now, sitting across this table, there's something in her eyes. Hello. Maid? Really short kimono, Jesus.
一条どうする？
はい。冷やしたぬきまだやってる？まだも何もそのような反人類的な代物をうちの店では出してません。
Also, you have a bird on your shoulder? What?
いや、ちょっと待て。反人類的ってなんだ？はい？
何を言っているんだ一条。
Yeah, what? Tanuki?
天かすを冷たい汁につけて食うなどという行為は人類に許されているはずもないだろう。アウストラロピテクスまで遡っても断じてありえないぞ。
Australopithecus wasn't discovered by the 40s, was it? Couldn't have been. I feel like that was at least like the 80s or 70s. I don't care about Australia. No, not Austral. Not Australia. Opithecus. Yeah. When was it discovered? Or its remains discovered, I guess. Discovered? Yeah. Australopithecus was 1959. I guess they found him early.
まったく。今日のお連れさんは冗談がお上手で。
は、自分も意外な一面を見た思いです。
そういえば最近変な噂を聞きましたよ。その冷やしたぬきとかいうやつを本当に作って客に出している店があるとか。
まさか都市伝説でしょう。いや、マクガフィンの一種かもしれません。
Would that I don't think that qualifies as a MacGuffin?
どこかの冗談好きがあたかも実在のもののように語り、聞いた相手も調子を合わせて真に受けてみせる。
ですよね。やっぱそうですよね。いや、わかってるんですけどね。
あなたも冗談がお好きなようだ。それで一条。冗談はさておき。
I mean, we're at a soba place. I would assume the soba.
じゃあ普通のタヌキで。
そうか。良いところを選んだな。
はい、タヌキ2つ。
I'll be honest, I have no idea what Tanuki soba refers to. I know there's like kitsune udon, which, you know, isn't actually fox. Tanuki soba. Fried tempura bits, soba dish with simple topping. One theory is that Tanuki Soba was named as a counterpart for another noodle dish, kitsune noodle dish. Yeah, what you just said. Okay, so it's just named just cause. That was a noise. The girl vanishes into the kitchen. 10 years since I first passed beneath this restaurant's curtain, and she hasn't lost a bit of her vigor. Her chipper voice is just the thing to whet the appetite.
いいものなんですか？ここのタヌキ。
ああ、最初にあれを食べた時は少なからぬ衝撃を受けた。
なんか想像がつかないです。
I'm double checking. Yeah, it's okay. So it's like just fried tempura. Like it's not like tempura shrimp or anything. It's literally just fried bits of tempura batter. Odd. I guess it makes sense to put that in a noodle dish. It's like a soak up the broth and like add texture and flavor, but it seems just odd.
俺はもう10年前。俺がまだお前のように学生服を着ていた頃だ。
I look around the restaurant. Little has changed. Here and there, I find fragments of memory and speak as they inspire.
卒業旅行だった。仲間と一緒に鎌倉の名所を見て回った。五山を参詣し、八幡宮では実朝暗殺ごっこをし、それからちょうど昼飯に良い時間だったので、手近な蕎麦屋に入った。それがここだ。実はその旅行で、俺は失敗を犯していた。
Yes, as most dumb kids usually do.
皆は違った。せっかくの旅行なのだからと、多めに小遣いを持ってきていた。今でも覚えている。小長屋は山かけおろしそばだった。尾崎も同じだ。安藤は確か、特選そばの大盛りを頼んでいたと思う。
Alright, now you're making me real hungry.
どれも100円以上の高額。
There's a Korean fusion place nearby. I'm probably gonna order some udon from there after this.
彼らはもちろんそれを知っていた。
I might even get like a sushi roll or something.
わかりません。
It looks like Tanuki soba is like I said, it's just tempura toppings. That's gotta be cheap.
何を聞かれてるのかが。
彼らは挑戦していた。この場で全財産をはたき、プライドを守るだけの度量が貴様にあるのかと。彼らの優越感に満ちた笑みは、俺に一つの決断をさせるに十分だった。
Fucking a buck 25.
125円。俺はタヌキそばを注文した。
Only 60 yen?
なかったんだ。
彼らは注文のそばが届くと、実にうまそうに食べ始めた。タヌキそばを待つ俺に、上辺だけの哀れみの言葉をかけながらだ。
Mm-hmm.
敗者を貶めることにかけて。
Like, yeah, what are friends for?
本当に仲間だったんですか？
Yes.
その人たち。
しかし、彼らは知らなかった。
That's just what guys do.
勝敗がわずかな時間で覆る運命にあったとは。その転機は、俺のそばが来た瞬間に訪れた。一目で分かった。すべてが逆転したことは、誰の目にも明らかだった。店を出たとき、小長屋がつぶやいた。一番安いの頼んだやつが一番うまいもの食いやがった。
I mean, sure, for 60 yen, you know, anything you get to eat is gonna be real fucking cost efficient.
俺は勝者だった。
それで、結局どんなそばだったんです？
そういうものだ。
It was cheap. You'll understand once you have a job and you have to start paying for things.
はい。あよ、お待ち。すごいですね。こんなの初めて食べました。
そうだろう。
I turn to my own bowl, where the tempura flakes are sizzling in the broth. I know of no other restaurant that infuses its tanuki with such vitality. Perhaps it is difficult to do so and still maintain the flavor. However it was done, this store has managed to create a single harmony. I can see by the smile on Ichijo's face that she's more than satisfied. Perhaps good food will help her open up.
でも、客の入りは良くないですね。
あ、
こんなに美味しいのに。
Maybe.
雨のせいでしょうか。
それもあるだろうが。幕府の食料増産
Oh,
計
yeah,
画の
wartime.
しばらく閉店していたからな。最近まで。
I take another look around. Though still early afternoon, the store has only two customers. Us.
その間に客が離れてしまったのだろう。
そういえばそうでした。うちの近所でも最近閉まってた飯屋が再開したり新しくできたりしてます。
最大の反幕勢力だった岡部島も制圧され、六原の統治は安定に向かっている。
Oh, poor
理
Okabe.
由なれば、その恩恵だ。
Of course, there's no telling how long that will last. Long-term projections aside, The recent sea change will likely shift the balance back towards chaos. Perhaps this restaurant will once again be forced to close its doors.
恩恵ですか。ありがたがらなくちゃいけないんでしょうか。今まで散々締め付けておいて、それをよう
No.
やく少し緩めたってだけなのに。
They only did that because they had to. I realized instantly that the question is rhetorical. The bite in her voice, the glint in her eyes, tells me that she already has the answer. Fear ripples through me, as though I were staring down the point of a needle.
ふざけた話です。
それでもやらないよりはマシだ。
ええ。
食料規制の緩和は喜ばしいことに違いない。
But, you know, gotta take the small victories where you can get them.
そう思います。でも、私は許しません。別ですから。いいことをすれば、その分過去の悪事が帳消しになる、なんて決まりはないです。
そうだな。
Almost like we're talking about multiple things here. Exactly right.
善は善です。悪は悪です。
Yep.
善は善で認められても、悪は悪で裁かれるべきです。
Correct. Of that, we are of the same mind. Yes, evil must be punished. That is why no matter what I do, my deeds are.
だから私は許しません。裏では自分が悪をなしている。そんな人がもしもいたなら、絶対に。
Unforgivable. Ichijo is staring at the wood of the table. She hasn't even spared me a glance. But then, was that a fluke just now? That moment of perfect consensus?
一条。
そろそろ出ませんか。一緒に行ってほしいところがあるんです。
You gonna show us your cool henshin? She turns to the door, again without eye contact. Outside, the rain is still pouring. A Romanian shrine? What? No, that's... Or is that Belgian? I can't tell if that's blue or black on that tricolor there.
はい。
At least I think Belgium's flag is red, yellow, black. Okay, it would be, but it's flipped, you know, 180. So the black would be on the far left. It was Belgium. And Romania also would be flipped 180 if that is blue instead of black on that flag there. They must be in distress. Kamakura boasts many temples. Some are quite large and famous. This is not one of them. I see no other visitors, nor even a priest. This temple cannot be abandoned, but it feels that way.
昔、父様がよく連れてきてくれました。
I mean, maybe the priest has a day job.
菩提寺なの。
Takes care of it on the weekend.
いえ、違います。でも父様は毎週のように参拝してたみたいです。もしかしたら毎日かも。きっとここが悪を許さない神様を祀る寺だから。
The words I can't even read. I scan the inscription on the nearby stela. It reads, Enma Ol. Enma is the god of hell, presiding over the 10 kings who judge the souls of the dead. Unusual as an object of worship.
厳格な父君であられるようだ。
そうですね。人にも自分にも。
I mean, relatively decent trait as long as it's not, like, self-destructive.
一度お会いしたいものだな。お前を
He's
見る
dead.
限り。
ありがとうございます。港さんともう何年か早く知り合っていたら。
He get disappeared by the state.
そうか。
Come to think of it, she mentioned once having no family. I should have remembered.
私、この寺は嫌いなんです。ここへ来る時の父様は決まって難しい顔をしていたから。何かを悩んで、悲しんで、怒って、 楽しそうだったことは一度もありません。
Ichijo's voice is tight, but flat. I follow her gaze to the temple's main hall. For an instant, I can almost see her father standing there, back rigid, head raised, eyes locked onto the statue of Enma within.
今ならわかります。父様は悪と戦う覚悟を決めるためにここへ来ていたんです。だからいつも辛そうな顔をしていた。だから私は嫌いでした。今も嫌いです。父様と同じで、私にとってもここは覚悟を決めるための場所になったから。
She turns, at last, she faces me. Her eyes hold a challenge, or a plea.
港さん、
一条。
嘘だって分かってるんです。あんなのとんでもない言いがかりだって。港さんは絶対に信じられる人なんだから。
It's because you can trust him, he's gonna answer honestly
でも
and
ご
hurt
め
you.
んなさい。なんでか聞き流せないんです。聞かないと、確かめないと安心できないんです。
一条。
Words die in my throat. What am I trying to say? Do I want her to stop? Or,
答えてください。嘘だって言ってください。
I mean, it's not gonna be, like, fun or, like, feel good to tell her, but, you know, well, then there will be no secrets. You know, you won't have that weight on your shoulder.
あなたが何の罪もない人を殺している
That
なん
was a
て。
flash. Oh, it was Enma. Okay.
なぜ。
My voice is barely a groan.
反町です。港さんはただの殺人犯だって。銀星号や六原と戦っている陰で何も悪くない人たちを殺しているって。嘘ですよね。
It's. I mean, yes, he is correct. Dot, comma, however, you know, we have a weird pact with a demon, so. Her eyes cling to me, desperate, beseeching. She trusts me, and because of that, she is afraid. For if she is wrong, the very ground beneath her feet will give way.
違うと言ってください。早く早くして。
I realize how simple it would be to reassure her. All it would take is one word. No. And Ichijo will believe it. One word, if I can only speak it. If I can only turn my back on all that I have done.
なんでですか。なんで何も言ってくれないんですか。
俺は。
港さん。
He's building up to it. Give him a second. This is hard. Yes. Say something. Tell her that it's nonsense. Feign hurt that she would doubt. Do that, and you will keep her trust. Everything will continue as before. What are you waiting for? Say it.
殺人者だ。反町一蔵は正しい。俺は善人も悪人も区別しない。関わった者は皆殺す。
嘘だー。
Her howl of betrayal shatters the thunder, carving deep furrows across the sky.
新田夕日を覚えているか。
Killed him.
乃木山組に絡まれているところ、お前に救われた少年だ。俺が殺した。俺とお前が二度目に出会った。あの小さな村を覚えているか。
Killed him.
どちらも。俺が殺した。
Would have got the old man too, but he was already dead.
GHQ の大鳥隊員のことを忘れてはいない。
In this world.
彼女はもうどこにもいない。俺が殺したからだ。
And so it is done. She does not reject my answer. I have, after all, only spoken the truth, as plainly as I am able. Even if that truth is the opposite of what she'd hoped for, She has no choice but to accept it.
どうして
Yeah, it's how Muramasa works.
理由か。そんなものはない。
None that could justify murder.
強いて言えば、俺がそういうものだからだ。
許さない
Yep.
裏切られたなんて思わね
Yeah, you just never
え
asked.
そうだあんたは最初から言ってた正義の味方なんかじゃないってただの人殺しだって私が勝手に勘違いしてたわけだ勝手に思い込んで勝手に信じて
I mean, he never betrayed your trust.
勝手に憧れてたんだ
Not his fault you got it all twisted up in your head. Until this moment, I never imagined that laughter could contain such hate.
けど許さない港影明
Yep,
私はあんたを許さない
that's the game plan.
あんたを殺す
どうやって？
Anticipation shivers in my gut. To Ichijo, however, the question is a challenge.
こうやってだ政宗
It appears in a flash of deepest blue. 6 legs, towering antennae, a carapace of polished steel. A tsurugi, and not of common make. The storm is powerless to dull its shine, which holds the eye like a perfect jewel. That brilliance leaves no doubt what this is. A masterpiece of the highest order, equal to Muramasa of Seishu, her superior.
政宗、天下第一刀。宗州五郎入道政宗だというのか。悪鬼に呼ばわれるべき名などない。
Its voice pierces my skull like a stake of ice.
我が名乗る政宗と我が斬る何かけて邪悪はただ聞いて散れ他には何も許さぬ
何も許さない
この世に跡形も残させはせぬ
すべて消し去る
滅ぼし尽くす
邪悪を
すべて
Uh-huh. And now I am the one who must accept the naked truth, however preposterous it may seem. I am facing the legendary Masamune, and Ichijo is its master.
なぜだいつ
そんなことはどうだっていい
Her voice is no less cold, no less hard than her Tsurugi's.
私はあんたを殺せるんだアッキー村正明日だ明日の早朝ここの裏手にある林へ来い殺してやる
Ichijo turns and stalks towards the gate. I watch her go, a small shape growing smaller, until, at the threshold, she suddenly stops. She turns again. I feel her eyes meet. Through the mist, I cannot make out her expression. Perhaps she is not so limited. She raises her arm, one finger extended, and thrusts it at my chest like the tip of a spear.
殺してやる
Yeah, we knew she wouldn't take it well. Oh. The Tsurugi and its master are one. No matter the distance between them, they can see what the other sees and hear what the other hears. And so Muramasa knows the ultimatum that was spoken. She felt the icy touch of hate even as her master did.
ミド
Masamune Muramasa. Where the history of Tsurugi smiths is concerned, no names have rung more loudly through the ages. As the legend goes, these two masters studied their craft together. Yet, while alike in the depth of their talent and skill, they could not have been less alike in temperament. Muramasa was proud and disdainful. He believed that strength alone had value, for a Tsurugi's sole purpose was to kill. Muramasa was dutiful and humble. He valued beauty as well as strength, for he believed that a tsurugi must embody the true virtues of might. One day, their teacher bade them each forge a sword, then stand those swords in a nearby river, edge facing upstream. Muramasa placed his sword first. Before long, a single leaf came floating down the river, on course for the naked blade. What the assembled disciples saw next astonished them. Before their eyes, Muramasa's blade parted the leaf without a sound, leaving two perfect halves to continue their journey. Muramasa threw his head back and laughed. Surely none could equal the sharpness of his blade. Their teacher, silent, motioned Masamune forward. What, in his cut the river? Masamune placed his sword. Soon, another leaf appeared. The disciples held their breath, waiting to see if Masamune's sword would prove its rival's match. But then, something very strange happened. Just before it touched the blade, the leaf changed course, suddenly, inexplicably, and passed along beside. As all watched with growing disbelief, so too did the next leaf, and then the next, until a dozen leaves had passed without a single one harmed. At this, their teacher spoke. "The supreme blade," he said, "cuts only what it must. The blade that hungers to kill mere leaves is nothing compared to the blade that spares them." And so it was that Masamune's armor came to be regarded as the finest ever forged. Those of the Muramasa line are to this day reviled as cursed, wicked. This is only a legend. Muramasa and Masamune never shared a master. They lived generations apart. But even myths and legends may speak the truth, should one choose to lend them an ear.
勘弁してやるからさ。それよこせって、その風呂敷包み。
Yeah, just give them that and they don't gotta hurt you.
すっげえ大事そうじゃん。いいものっぽいね。金か食い物か
金がいいよな。宝石とかでもいいけど。
Most people just aren't carrying around bags of money.
これは家宝の茶碗ですや。家族を食わせるために質屋でお金に変えようと。ああ、そうかいそうかい。じゃあ私な、俺たちが代わりに行ってきてやるよ。やらしてくだされ。この茶碗はわしらの明日
If only there was a hero.
いいからとっとと。
なんだよお前。
おい
てめえ
She does not know how far her feet have taken her. She has wandered the city since leaving the temple, her course unimpeded by whatever refuse happens to be in her way. She has no destination in mind, no aim, nor any desire to return to her lair. Her brain is on fire, her thoughts consumed. Minato Kageaki. In the beginning, she judged him a coward, a contemptible thing worth less than spit. He proved her wrong. She remembers how it felt to see him fight, that flowering of hope and faith. He was, as she told herself, someone she could trust. But in that too, she was wrong. I. Her thoughts all collapsed on that one question, a seething singularity of doubt. He was a ray of light, a shining star, a beacon in the darkness. He was the answer to the question that had plagued her. How do you face an evil that cannot be defeated? Do you accept it, as so many do, by telling yourself that it's meaningless to reject what you have no power to change? Or do you reject it anyway? Or rather, pretend to, by punishing only the evils you can, all the while ignoring the greater evil and telling yourself one day. This was the path that Ichijo walked before meeting him, not that she was ever content. It was he, the Crimson Musha, who showed her a new answer. If you truly believe that your enemy must be defeated, then there is no reason not to fight. Does not matter how strong your enemy is, nor how low your chances of victory. If you must fight, then fight. Everything else comes after. He did not merely preach this truth, he embodied it, a lone Musha challenging titans. He embodied justice.
なんでだよ。
Again, she comes to the question. Her mind, like her feet, have nowhere to go. Minato Kageaki is a murderer, not a hero. He kills regardless of right or wrong. The thought is absurd, but how can she doubt his confession? Each word was heavy with the weight of truth. And if she can't doubt his guilt, then what can she believe? It makes her want to flee this city, to forget everything and abandon her fight, start anew someplace far away. Surely no one would blame her. Will she, then? Can she make that choice? Never. She is Ayane Ichijo.
私は綾音一同の娘だ。
She remembers the grin on his face. She remembers the stench of rot. She is her father's daughter, and she knows all too well what that means. She cannot abandon the pursuit of justice. She cannot run from evil. She must face Minato Kageaki, the man who gave her light, and kill him.
港さん。
こんなところにいたのか。
Hey,
ずいぶん探したよ。
hey, teammate.
あんたは確か。
鎌倉警察署の署長だ。菊池という。
Yeah.
君に話したいことがあってきた。
ちょうどよかった。私も。
It's complicated. Everything's complicated. I know you really want the world to be black and white, but it's not. It's complicated. Dawn comes with a fresh smattering of rain. Those storm clouds departed sometime last night. They have since returned to subject us once more to their fury. I suppose they must find it comfortable here. My umbrella is heavy. A stream trickles from the brim, drops falling cold upon the back of my hand.
ミド、やらねばならないことは分かっているでしょう。
Yep, she stands in our path. But how does our killing work here? Because I know it's like, oh, we got to kill someone bad, now we got to kill someone good. But she's good in this scenario. I know it's the whole slay demon, slay a saint. If we slay the saint, do we just get to slay the demon for free next time? Does it carry forward? To defeat Genseigo.
その妨げになるなら、振り払うまでよ。何者である。
分かっている。
ミド。
分かっている。
This is perhaps the thousandth time we've repeated this exchange in the hours since Muramasa returned. Nothing has changed. My duty remains clear. The people of Yamato are living a nightmare. They know, even if none will dare speak of it, that at any moment the Silver Star might burn their village or town to ash. Genseigo is a plague, and it falls to me to end it. Why me? Because it was my mother's last request. Because no one else can. Because she is my sister. My path is already littered with corpses. I have killed many in the name of duty. Today is no different. I must go on, even if the next body I climb over is hers.
港影明。私はあんたを許さない。あんたを殺す。
Sharp impact against my knee snaps me back to the present. I'm kneeling in a puddle, my pant legs soaked with water. I must have slipped while I was distracted. I see myself reflected in the water and feel an upwelling of scorn. My Tsurugi, hidden nearby, says nothing. She does not need to. Her stare conveys more than enough. Ignoring it, I stand and resume my march. Progress is slow. My body resists as if it were not entirely my own. Something, some force, is gripping my limbs, holding them back as they struggle to advance. I know what this is. It comes from within, from some place in my gut or my head or my heart. My spirit is rebelling at the thought of what I must do. Whatever Ichijo was to me before is irrelevant. Now she is only one thing, my judge. She has heard my confession, weighed my crimes, and pronounced them, and me, deserving of death. And to her verdict, I say yes. My crimes are unforgivable. I do deserve to die. How then can I reject that fate? What gives me the right? If I truly believe that my victims had worth, that the blood on my hands must carry a price, then should I not submit to her judgment and lay my own head upon the block? This has never before been a question. Of the few who know the depths of my crimes, not one has ever held me to account. Now one has. She has passed sentence, with the will and the means to carry it out. Is it not my duty to yield?
Mido.
分かっている。
1001. No, of course I cannot yield. That would bring an abrogation of duty, a cowardly flight from unspeakable pain. A what? An abrogation? A repeal or abolition of law, right, or agreement. To hang for my crimes, what a relief that would be. I would know that all is right with the world. But I have no right to peace, not while my true duty remains unfulfilled. I know. And yet, why is my duty an excuse? Every person has duty. All life has a purpose that calls it to live. That it calls to life to live? That calls it to live. Okay. And yet, no one is immortal. Everyone leaves something undone. Why should I be any different? Why should I warrant reprieve? To die as my victims did, burdened, wishing that I could do more. Is that not the suffering I deserve?
Mido. 私たちが銀星群を倒さな
Great
け
or
れば
good?
何度言わせるつもりだ。分かっている。もう黙っていろ。
I do not need her to tell me the answer. It is evident, as it has always been. If I die without fulfilling my duty, the suffering will not be mine alone. Kinsego will keep killing and driving men to slaughter, and laying her eggs, which will hatch and kill more. Death and destruction on a scale the world has never seen. I cannot let that happen. Nothing can shorten the roll of the dead, but at least, I can strive to keep it from growing any longer. Any longer than necessary. For that, I must face Ayane Ichijo, reject her righteous verdict, and add her name to the tally. My thoughts run in circles, no way out. And no more time to find one. I have passed Kobuku Rosaka Pass. Kobuku Rosaka. Okay. Kobuku Rosaka Pass. That's a mouthful. Inoji is just ahead. In the wood behind the temple, I find a clearing. Ichijo is already there, waiting. Her armor is the blue of deepest sea and boundless sky. Those are two different shades of blue, my guy. I hate to tell you. It is easy to see why so many have called Masamune blessed, divine. I'm gonna say Masamune and Muramasa 1,000 times, get used to it. As before, its color is undiluted by the rain, as if even the storm must pay homage to its beauty. Even were this not a place of Enma worship, I might be forgiven to think Ichijo the Lord of Hell himself. Her wrath is certainly no less.
宗州正宗
己が上門の女王を称する村正か。
It is the Tsurugi who breaks the silence, their armor ringing with the force of their words.
なんと汚らわしき鋼鉄であることか。噂にたがわぬ。いな、噂にも勝る。声だめの底で腐ったおでえよりも醜悪。
A person's look or manner, especially one of particular kind, indicating their character or mood. Okay. That's what
ご
Mian
挨
means.
拶ね。名高い先達に敬意を表したかった。こちらの心情も汲んでほしいものだけれど。
いらぬわ。呪われし村正。700年の無為の日々の中、己の名を幾度も聞いたぞ。流血を求める剣。人心を
Yes.
狂わせ。
Yes, but no. We don't eat bones.
その肌に染みついた結集を嗅げば、なるほど。風聞はすべて事実であったと知れる。
Offal are guts and like all the little bits you don't normally eat.
機内の南北に帝が立ち、大和全土が混沌の渦中に争い合ったというあの時代。もし我が主を得ておれば、己に悪名を立てる暇など与えず、葬ってやれたものを。そうできなんだのが今にして惜しいわ。他の剣どもは何をしておったか。
Yeah, but you did it.
己ごときに長領を許すとは。
I can see you have a real chip on your shoulder about that.
吠えるな、ベーコ
ん？
あなたのような剣が世に出ていれば、
Yes.
なんだという真っ正直で世間知らずの箱入り剣が。何もできはしなかった。700年、安穏と宝蔵の中で眠り、何の責任もない傍観者でいられた幸運を、もっと噛み締めることね。天下一名物政宗。確かにあなたの鋼鉄は美しい。一滴の血も浴びていないのだもの。
How easy it is to cast curses from your ivory tower.
昔おったな。果たすべき使命を持ちながら、何もなせずに眠り続
But,
け
you
れ
know,
ば
kind of
な
a
かった
grass is greener
我が
thing.
700年よの苦衷。己にはわかるまい。
わからないでしょうね。
Mhm.
あなたに、あの時代を生きて戦っていた人々の苦しみがわからないように。
その逆しら口、封じてくれる。ミド、いざ参らん。
ミド、こちらも走行を。
I raised my arm and stopped to regard my opponent. She is not moved in response to Tsurugi's urgings, nor has she spoken a word. I sense that her stare is probing. Why? My guilt is evident. What more does she need to see?
港影明殺人者呪われた悪鬼
I meet her recitation with silence. The naked truth needs no reply.
殺すとできないとでも思ってるのか。
いいや。お前ならできる。
Mm-hmm.
揺るがぬ信念を持って悪を裁くことが。
ならどうして黙って立ってる。
It's a heavy feeling.
殺されてもいいってのか。
I mean, yes, he does, but
いいや。俺は
yeah, just not
死
here.
ぬわけにはゆかん。
ミド、
Well, it's complicated. It's like he probably doesn't want to die, but he knows he needs to, and he's fine with that. You know, as fine as he can be. But you know, as we said before, duty's still undone. You know, we can die later, just not here.
鬼に会うては鬼を切る。仏に会うては仏を切る。剣の断り、ここにあり。村正、参る。
それだけか。 それだけ
Yep.
なのかよ。
とは
Yeah, like what do you want him to say? You're right.
ああ、そうかよ。わかったよ。
Like, I know you really want him to, like, plead a compelling case that you really want to agree with, but he can't.
アッキ、村正、てめえを殺せ。
Ichijo whips her sword from its sheath. The blade is large, not so long or as wide as Muramasa's lost Nodachi, but more than sufficient to be classified as a nanbato, or horse killer. Zanbato.
鎌倉末期の典型だな。
ええ、タッチの長大化が始まった頃の作よ。
One of the features that characterized the century and a half between the Kamakura and Sengoku periods was a trend towards larger and heavier swords. Although the introduction of matchlock rifles effectively ended this as an option for the rank and file, it remained a strong preference among Musha well into the 16th century. Magara Naotaka, who served the Asakura clan, was said to have wielded a blade fully 2.5 meters in length. Words are hard. Regarding this trend, one theory holds that it emerged from the Mongol invasion of 1281. History records that the Mongol Musha possessed armor of surpassing durability. Heavier swords might have been a means to overcome this defense. Whatever its origins, such a weapon requires great skill to wield effectively, and is unsuited to engagements on the ground, where obstacles are plentiful. Prudence would seem to dictate that Ichijo shift the field to the sky. She does not. Ugh. Those flashes aren't good. It's not just the flash of white, it's the fact that it strobes between, like, green and red.
キヨ、
Without moving from the spot, she sweeps her sword through the air, once, twice, thrice. Felled at knee height, the trees surrounding her topple to the ground. Several fall towards me, but they are no threat. Their leaves, however. As they fill the air, for an instant, Masamune vanishes from sight.
この技
Sirens blare in my skull. I abandon my position, leaping back as fast as I am able. And even then, the glint of steel follows, growing to fill my sight. At the last moment, I tear my sword from its sheath and deflect her thrusts. And as the sparks clear, I see it. Azure Masamune. So close that it seems to have moved by magic.
何、まさかしのぎ。
いや祝辞だ。
I plant my back foot, arresting my retreat, then bound forward with a rising diagonal slash. Ichijo parries, but her own sword snaps back from the force. And as it does, it swivels, its tip describing a circle in the air above her head. Her momentum preserved, she strikes, as expected. This time, our roles are reversed. I parry and withdraw, and without wasted motion, translate that force into another attack. I can't just say words that I think is how the fight's gonna go. I have to read what's on the screen. Sorry. The pattern repeats once more. I can imagine an observer's confusion. This was supposed to be a fight, not a training exercise. But of course, when disciples of the same school do battle, those things are one and the same.
あんた、まさか。
After the third exchange, Ichijo breaks the engagement. I share her surprise.
やはり吉野音流か。最初の仕掛けは吉野音流猿隠れ。そこからつなげた俊足の踏み足は膝を抜くことで実現する吉野音流秘伝の宿地法。
Cool.
そして切り返しの応酬は技であり稽古法でもある小玉打ち。
そうか、あんたも。
吉野音流合戦霊法。免許は受けていないが、奥伝には達した。
吉野音流道場霊法。免許も奥伝も知らねえけど、多分一通りは習った。
Cool, mirror match. I've heard the name. The Dojo Reiho, or School of Courtly Conduct, is said to have birthed my own Kasen Reiho, or School of Battlefield Conduct. Given that our techniques thus far have been identical, that rumor would appear to be more truth than fiction. At the very least, our schools must share some profound connection. Looking back, I recall several instances where Ichijo demonstrated unarmed techniques similar to my own. My subconscious wrote them off as coincidence. To think that the coincidence extended this far.
剣を扱えるのも道理か。
お互い手の内はお見通しってわけだ。でもそんなの関係あるか。やっ！
Again, she closes with Shuchu Chi. She is suddenly there, her sword reversed, blade facing up between my legs. Oh, that's a word. Sakanagare. Sakana. Yeah. Sakanagare. Sakana? Like fish? No time to retreat. I leap into the air. Her strike passes millimeters from my groin. Even without igniting his Gatari, Amusha can leap far higher than any man. For a moment, I hang above the trees, and Oji spread out below.
このまま機構戦に移るのも一手だけれど。
いや、
Yeah, we can't really have a, Amusha fight, like, right outside the city. People are gonna notice. I ready my blade, eyes fixed on the ground. Normally, Muramasa would be correct. But not in this weather. The rain will play havoc with our sensors. Will it? Not really. I mean, you got color weather radar on this thing? In such conditions, an aerial engagement becomes a matter of luck more than skill. I suspect this is why Ichijo kept her wings folded, even though her weapon is advantaged in the air. I also have no desire to gamble, and even if I had...
そんな暇はない。
She explodes from the trees, slamming into me like a shell from an anti-aircraft gun. With my own wings folded, I cannot evade, and so I take the full force of her blow on my blade. It barely holds. Our weapons squeal. My strength vies with hers in the void of the sky.
我流で敵を空へ追い込み、昇流で仕留める。基本通りの見事な連携だ。
ほざいてろよ！
As the earth pull overcomes our momentum, she hooks her leg around mine, calf to calf. I'm suddenly staring up at her, my back to the ground. Her blade angles for my throat.
させてはやれぬ。
The tigers fall. This position is called after the old story about two warring beasts who throw themselves off a mountain cliff in their struggle. The Yoshino Onryu practitioner, who finds herself reacting this fall, will attempt to take the top position, then use the force of the impact with the ground to drive her fangs into the enemy's neck. To call this difficult would be an understatement. Ichijo clearly had an exceptional teacher. But then, so did I.
この…
これが返しだ。知っていたか。
Using the same points of contact, I mimic Ichijo's feat. Through the horizontal rather than vertical axis, now I have the top, and therefore the advantage. It does not last. Ichijo's response is swift. She regains the top in the blink of an eye. I counter again. She follows suit. The world spins. I cannot say whose reversal is last before the ground finally rushes up to meet us. I mean, you could also just land on your side. The answer is irrelevant. Neither, it turns out, has sufficient advantage to overpower the other's defense. I try to stand, but my inner ear protests. It is fully half a breath before my legs will respond. An eternity, but fortunately, one my opponent shares. Like reflections in a mirror, the two of us rise as one. Does this girl have no caution? Range, timing, trivial, she says. She strikes with unmitigated ferocity, her shout like a crack of a pistol. Even the most reckless charge can be deadly, backed with sufficient speed and power, and Ichijo has both by a factor of 1.5 or more. However,
正直すぎる。
like a bolt of lightning, she crushes the range and lifts her blade to strike. But before she can, I toss my own sword aside and take half a step forward, lowering my body to meet her. She's too textbook.
借りるぞ。
Free energy has its uses. Flip! My right arm goes to the enemy's back, hip planted against hers. I sweep her right leg. Harai Goshi. A basic throw, but it's hard to imagine a more textbook execution. Ichijo flips once into the air, strikes the ground hard, and rolls for several meters before stopping. My sword is already back in my hand.
Mido!
Yes, this is my chance. I need only seize it and strike.
得難い体験をしたな、一条。空に命を預ける
Yeah, people don't expect it, but like,
投げられる機会
if you look in like medieval like sword manuals from like Europe, grappling and wrestling are a big part because your opponent can't swing at you if you have them in a hold and are slamming their head into the ground. Also, once you have them in a hold, that's when you get your sidearm knife dagger and slit it between the plates of their armor and fucking stab at their gooey innards. They don't like it when you do that.
良い技を身につけているようだが、それのみに依存していては戦術の幅が狭まる。絡めてもあることを知っておけ。
Yep.
例えば今の単なる基礎的な柔術に過ぎんが、使いどころを間違いなく
You just don't have any battlefield experience.
抜かしやがる。
It's like, yeah, your application is really good, but once things go sideways a little, it's you have no counter. It's like anything, really. It's like my job, A lot of my job is like electrical and computer troubleshooting, and it's like, sure, the book is great. It can give you like the basic steps on like, okay, try this. If this doesn't work, try this. However, there always comes a point, not always, but occasionally, where it gets to a point where it's like, refer to wiring diagrams and use system knowledge to find out the problem. Bye, good luck. And it's like, nothing in these books can help you. You just have to know the basics of everything and how it connects with everything else, and use your like, well, system knowledge, in this case, your fighting knowledge, to connect the gaps where there is no, clear line to follow. She climbs to her feet. Somehow, she still has a grip on her sword. Her rage washes over me like fire.
追い打ちもかけねえで技の解説か。さっきから受け一方だしよ。余裕ぶりやがって。絡めてか。ああ、そうかよ。そっちが好みだってんなら見せてやる。わさぶね。
Or I guess like, fighting games. Fighting games is a good example. You can watch like YouTube videos and learn like, oh, these are your combos, these are your strings, get your fucking commands, your fucking hit confirms or whatever. Do your thing. But then it's like, if your opponent does something you're not expecting, it's like, oh, now you have like no option. You're playing like a one-player game, when you're doing your combo, but as soon as the other person does something, it's like you have nothing. The Azure Musha raises her arm like a spear. Her hand is empty, but on her wrist, some kind of barrel? A cannon? On a 13th century Tsurugi? Impossible. But then I feel her malice swell and gather in the barrel's throat.
くらえ。
承知。
Oh, that doesn't sound good. That sound. Like flesh being ripped from the bone. What is she doing? Her wrist barks. discharging a round iron shell. My heart stops. It is a cannon! How? Oh, I kind of peeked my microphone there, sorry. Wait, why can't I still see the shell? The projectile is moving far too slow, as if it had been launched by simple spring. It can't possibly carry enough force to kill. Still, no sense letting it hit me. I twist my body a fraction to the side. The shell passes harmlessly by. The world ends. Dunk. It's more like a grenade launcher than a, than a cannon. Loss. Emptiness. Pain. After an eternity drifting in darkness, it is pain which pulls my scattered pieces together. Icy fingers wrap on my hard metal skin. Ah, the rain. I am face first to the clouds. I must have fallen while I was unconscious. I force myself to sit up. Agony flares through my body. Countless wounds make their presence known. A few meters away, my enemy shines darkly in the gloom. For an instant, she seems to wobble. Perhaps the damage is affecting my eyes. Yeah, what the fuck? Shock must have forced a temporary shutdown. Several seconds pass before she responds. Not good. Oh. Yow. Ugh. So it's not a cannonball. A grenade with a timed explosive and a fragmenting shell. Powerful weapon, but ahead of its time, I guess.
道は誤れど鍛冶師の端くれか。
正解だったの？まさかと思ったけれど。
いかにも。これは鉄砲。政宗7つの金栗が一であり。
Let's see, 13th century, that's like 1200s. Yeah, because the Mongol invasions are like 1280s. So, yeah, they should maybe have... When was Chinese gunpowder invented? Chinese gunpowder. Not gunpowder tea, invention. Yeah, 9th century. Yeah, something, quote-unquote simple like your grenade. Yeah. The Mongols. Image comes to mind. The famous painting of Takesaki Suenaga engaging the Mongol hordes at Kyushu. It depicts one of the earliest gunpowder weapons, which the Mongols called, oh god, it's a Chinese name, Xiantianlei, which is completely pronounced wrong, or thunder bombs. Now it makes sense.
そんな代物。
おそらくは武者の熱量を一種の FA となさしめて策略に変え、鉄片は鋼鉄を裂いて用立てたのだろうが。
A brute force solution, but logical.
ええ。けれど、そういうことじゃないのよ。そう。あの武器は鋼鉄を原料にしている。
Oh, and now you have it in us. Ooh. That seems like it would cause some interference. Also that, extremely gross and painful. I take a second to look at Ichijo. Her breathing is ragged, her posture unsteady. When I saw her wobble before, it wasn't a trick of the eyes. If indeed that weapon stripped the flesh from her bones, I can only imagine her suffering. Even worse. Didn't even finish the job. Indeed, Ichijo herself was caught in the explosion. I assume I got the brunt of it, but I doubt it made much difference. Her armor is just as pockmarked as mine. Yeah. You know, we were playing with fire. I expected to get burnt.
なんですって？
侮るでないわ。
Mm-hmm.
我が理念を、我が主の信念を、我らは正義を貫徹する。それのみが肝心。他はさますのと。
Man, that's got to be a big drain on the calorie fuel tank there, though, to, you know, convert your own body into ammunition and then have to restore it.
それこそ最も強い方法だからだ。己を巻き添えにするのは、そうするまいと思えば、強さが駆け落ちるからだ。
そうだ。
That's not what she said.
邪悪を打ち砕く強さ。政宗にはそれだけあればよい。他には何もいらぬ。
ああ、そうだ、政宗。
なんて無茶苦茶な。
She was just saying, yeah, that's right.
見下げるか村正。だが己は猛前にして知らぬのだ。正義に魂を捧げた者は不屈であることをまだ知らぬ。
Good people die all the time.
これから思い知る。で
She charges like something out of a nightmare, spraying blood from wounds that seem to mean nothing. I cannot say the same for my own. My parry is slow. Her blade smashes into my shoulder, numbing my arm to the bone. Before I can recover, she strikes again.
ミド。
I stagger back, a feint, which I turn into a sidestep that carries me out of her arc of attack. Perhaps her damage is telling after all, if, after taking 2 hits, I am able to escape. After a heartbeat, she reorients herself to face me once more.
勝手。
悪名を響かせるだけのものはある鋼鉄だ。忌々しいの。
だが、大したことじゃない。
しかり。
Mm-hmm.
切れぬなら砕けばよかろうよ。
Oh, okay.
だ、なあ。
Even if we can't cut him with the sharp part of our blade, you know, hit him with the side and crush him like a soda can.
私たちがあいつを砕く。いい？
We got the power of magnets on our side. In the pit of my gut, a what? Cyclotron forms. I feed it my heat. The energy grows. Though Ichijo's charge seems as reckless as before, her center of gravity this time is much lower. She will not let me throw her again. Good, but not enough. Never assume that you've seen every trick your enemy has.
流れ、回る。
I meet her strike with its opposite. Our blades spring apart, then circle for another pass. Kodama Uchi. When 2 swordsmen engage using this technique, their battle comes to resemble a training exercise. Assuming that all else is equal. This time, there's no clean exchange of blows. I have a clear advantage. Speed, granted by fields of magnetic force humming through my armor. My joints respond with liquid ease, and my sword blurs like a swallow in flight. A Muramasa original. Tsubame Uchi. Ah! Clearly, she was not expecting me to cheat. The force of my counter sends her flying. Not what I intended. Her armor remains whole, as she has the gall to complain about Muramasa's durability. No, I read that wrong. And she has she had the gall to complain about Muramasa's durability. It was more derisive. If I am to cut my way through this bastion,
ミド、時間を与えないで。 今よ。
I sheathe my sword. Indeed, one choice left. Once more, the power grows inside me. Only this time, orders of magnitude stronger. Well, we're already at like a third of a tank, bud, so you better, yeah, one and done this. This must end. Now. I have to end it.
そうか。
二度立てい。
Even considering that my blow did not penetrate, her recovery is faster than it has any right to be. She rises to one knee, her sword raised before her. And then, what is that? The mist rises from her sword, raindrops flashing into steam. The air ripples like a desert mirage. Is she feeding heat into the blade? Masamune spoke of 7 tools. This must be another of their number. No matter. Whatever fearsome power it contains, she will not get the chance to unleash it. The advantage is mine.
レールガンマガツ。
見ろ。
I missed?
いか。
You just superheat it? Okay, but how's the concept work? Is it literally just pour energy into the blade to make it hot? Fucking Masamune 1000-degree knife YouTube channel videos?
どうだ思い知ったか横よ。悪に報いあり正義に勝利あり。世の真理は今ここにあり。
Minato Kakiyaki lies before me, motionless. He is at my mercy. His wound is deep and jagged, and still crackling with heat. I hear the same crackling from closer by. I do not need to look to know its source. My right arm is fused with the hilt of my sword, scorched raw by the same hellish flame. Well, at least, any wound he has is cauterized. So, don't gotta worry about the bleeding as much. There is no pain. The limb is already dead, a charred husk that still serves its purpose. This is what it means to be a Musha. So long as I possess the will to fight, Masamune will give me the strength. I step forward and raise my smoking blade to point at my enemy's throat.
殺すぞ。
No response. I know he heard me, and yet, not even a flicker in his eyes. Something clenches deep in my gut.
できないとでも
Nope,
思ってるのか。
you won. Dissonance. Have I spoken these words before? Why do I feel the need to do again? He never doubted my resolve, did he? A howling agony builds in my skull, but that is nothing compared to the thing in my gut. It rises to squeeze my heart. This is wrong. Everything about this is wrong. I know how to end it. Take his head. He is a murderer. He has killed innocents, children. If I do not bring him to justice, who will? That is my duty now. I have the power. Must be a hero where before there were none. Wherever the mighty make victims of the helpless, I must be there to punish their crimes. No matter their reasons, they all must die. So I was taught. Taught? By whom? For an instant, my heart ceases to beat. My throat constricts, my skin crawls. I must finish it, quickly. If I truly hate evil, then there's only one answer. Just thrust, and it's over.
なんでだよ。なんで何も言わない。
He doesn't have the right. At least, he thinks so. Someone is talking. Her voice is bitter. Weak. Stop it. Can't you see I have a duty? Just shut up already.
言えよ。理由があったんだろう。どうしようもなかったんだろう。あんたはそうするしかなかったんだろう。
呪いだよ。
呪い？
村正が陽光と称されるゆえん。善悪相殺の掟、その呪縛。
She's like, come on, man, give me the out. Give me the out to not do this. Come on, man.
悪しき者を一つ切ったなら、良き者も一つ切る。影明の意志とは関わりなく。
But, you know, the way he sees it, he always had the choice. He can just, you know, not do it. Just give up on the mission, you know?
呪いで最初に殺したのは自分の母だ。あいつは一番最初に、一番大切な人間を手にかけた。だから引き返せなくなった。そこから始まった全てを終わらせるための戦いの道を。それでも止めてやるべきだったのかもしれない。そうだろうな。だが、私は影明を戦わせている。呪いも何も
It's
かも
like, shit, man.
全て承知の上で。
If Muramasa is the only one that can do it, you know, someone else is just gonna get in the seat and fucking start killing people.
他にいないからだ。銀星号と戦い、その卵を破壊し、最悪の拡散を防いでくれる武者は。
It's like, yeah, kind of fucked for, like, you know, the police commissioner who's supposed to, like, you know, uphold and defend the peace to just, you know, condone innocents dying, you know, for the greater good. But fuck, man, you know, I don't know if I'd be able to make the, you know, the truly moral choice and be like, no one must die. It's like, if you do that, Conseco just wins. It's like, sorry, man, fuck them kids. It's like, if those kids don't die, there ain't gonna be no kids left. Oof! I reposition my blade and strike. Its white-hot tip sinks into his armor like wax. The smell of roasting flesh fills the air. Barbecue. Sizzling pork smell. If you never really burned yourself, yeah, that's just what it smells like. It smells like you just threw a pork chop onto the grill. Yeah, you missed the vitals, dumbass. Should have paid attention in anatomy class. He's right. My blade was at his throat. Why did I stab him there instead? Should have killed him. I still can. Do it. It's what he deserves.
他にあるだろう。言うことなら他にあるはずだろう。
なくもない。言えた筋を言っても。
Could you please kill Kinsego?
銀星
Yeah.
頼む。その政宗ならば、あるいは止められるかもしれない。頼む。
違うだろう。そんなこと聞きたいんじゃねえよ。あんたは悪くないんだろうが。なのに殺されていいわけねえだろう。
But he does. It is his fault.
私に理由を言えよ。呪いのせいだったんだって説明しろよ。そうすりゃ、そうしてくれれば。
I mean, yes, it's like, yes, it was the curse, but also he agreed, you know, after the first one, he didn't know about it the first time, but after that, he willingly and knowingly agreed to the terms and condition, so.
関係ない。罪は。
Like, you could call him killing his mom manslaughter. Sure, with a lawyer, he could get away with that. But all the others, yeah.
それを裁こうとする。お前は正しい。
Essentially premeditated.
理由など関係ない。悪は罪は許してはならないのだ。
Do not stop me. Do not forgive my crimes. Hate them, Ichijo. Hate my evil. Hate me. Reject me. Kill me.
やだよ。
Ooh, you were your dad's own headsman? Ooh, that's rough.
一条。
やだよ。父様。もう、やだよ。
Your dad went all Hikiri, you know, stabbed himself, and then you went, finished the job? Rough.
死なないで。父様。
It's always with the daddy issues. As I stare in disbelief, Ichijo throws herself upon me and crumples, sobbing, into my arms. It's like, yeah, great, but please get off. Your weight is not good on my cleaved chest and stabbed arm. Don't feel very good. And with that, dramatic bout of swords completed. That is where we're going to end it here for today. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. See you guys on next time for the next episode of Full Metal Demon Muramasa. Most likely going to be up on, what's today? Is today Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday today. Yeah, it'll probably be up on Friday. So, yeah. I already said my bit, so I guess I'll just see you later. Okay, bye. Bye.